project is to change the headliner as well as all the pillars lining. As you can see, there is a lot of sagging bit, especially on the third row and the second row, so I've decided to take it all out. You need to kick all the grab rails off, small lights off, the middle light there, and then the front cabin light. Yeah, they are pretty straightforward. I didn't take video of that either. The only thing you might want to know about is you'll have to disconnect that connector there that goes through there and connects to that whole set. So to remove the headliner, I had to remove one side, the compartment, rear compartment. So I removed the right hand side, and then you've got to angle it that way. You got to lower both front seats towards backwards and just pull it out in a diagonal way, in that sort of between that gap, the diagonal edges, corners, and pull it out. Yep, so I've taken it down to the garage because I live in an apartment, so it's pretty hard to do it in my apartment upstairs. So I need to get these metal rims or trim around. That's the only bit I think remaining, and I can start pulling. As you can see, it's very porous. It comes out really easy. So I'll pull it all out. Then I've got a brush, a hard brush, and I've got some wire brush as well, which I can use to scrub it off, all the paint. So these metal rims have this little clamps on the other side, which is a bit tricky because when I twist this, I twist the whole thing, but I guess I can fix it when I try to put it back on. Yeah, and likewise on the center one as well. Yeah, the cloth was so withered that it took me literally 20 seconds to pull it all out without any hassle. So I think the difficult bit, or relative difficult bit, is to get rid of these glue. But yeah, I just got a brush, so I can just maybe in 20 minutes I can get rid of this. Yeah, so it's been 10 minutes, so I'm maybe 30% done, 35% done. So the challenge is, it's very easy to get it off using the brush. The brush is all gone anyway. I'm gonna throw it after this. But what happens is it ends up being a little sticky chunks, these foams. So what I think I should do is I'll clean them all up. I'll get a wire brush to clean up on the edges like this, because I saw someone on YouTube saying he didn't clean better on the edges and he had the material coming off on those corners. I'll do that, and I will I might give it a wipe with a light wipe with isopropyl alcohol, get rid of all the adhesives from before, and I will let it dry for a few days because I'm not in a rush to get the car running. So alright, after half an hour scrubbing, I managed to get all the first layer off. I think it's 90% good. As you can see, there's all this little sticky chunk of foam, the deteriorated foam mixed with the glue. That brush is ruined, so I'll buy another brush. What I'll do next is get another brush, wipe it off with a cloth of some sort, and use another brush to do a second round just to get the adhesive off, and then third round to do with the alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and dry it for a couple of days. So I've done the second round with a brush because I had to replace another brush. It tends to be very sticky at some areas, so I don't think there's any way I can get rid of the whole all that stickiness. But what I've done is especially around where the stress points would be, like this corner here, that one, I've used a small metal brush to brush off all the materials as much as I can, and I've used isopropyl alcohol just to wipe it off. There's still a bit of a stickiness, but I think there's no material there, so I hope it just sits straight to the board. So unfortunately, I don't have a big area to work on, so I've just put it on my apartment's living room. So I've lined up the fabric on top of the headliner base. So to get it to this stage, I have done, first I just scrubbed it off, then second I actually used alcohol wipes, not alcohol wipes, sorry, the wet wipes, this is cheap kitchen floor wet wipes to wipe literally every square inch of this liner, and I then used a barbecue scrubber to actually scrub off the glue. It actually worked really well, so the stickiness is gone. Otherwise it was a bit sticky and I wasn't sure if the glue was gonna hold. But after wiping it using this, using the wet wipes, it's pretty good. It feels pretty good. So I'm confident that it'll hold the glue and should come out good. So I will get started from this bit of a ridge here. So this is on the rear side, if you can see. I'll only put glue between pretty much few inches from the bottom bit here, bottom dip, all the way same on the other side, because I want to have the liner sit well along the length first. Then I'll have to do the trick of getting it up on the sides, and especially the corners is going to be tricky. Yeah, I think what will happen is we'll have to put it to a certain level like that, and I have to push the fabric in, otherwise there'll be creases along here. So what I meant is if I try to line up all the stuff inside, then I'll end up having a crease like this. So I think I'll have to leave a bit of a gap there and try and push it a bit. The fabric is stretchable a bit to a certain extent, so as long as I have a reasonable sort of amount of fabric left on the side, I should be able to push it in and get the glue to work and hold it. So let's start from the middle. That's it. So what I've done is I've just put it on the top, so it's just a starting point. It's like a hook point essentially. So now I'm gonna put glue on that side edge wall along and up to this edge, here, and then try and run this way first. I'll not focus on that bit, that uphill on either side. So as I said, I'll just try and focus the length, because I can already see these corners are going to be tricky. So I've sprayed just another bit further away from the corners there. I'm just taking it step by step so I have enough. I can just plan it slowly rather than put the glue all across and not knowing what to do. So if I messed up in that area, I have some room on this side to play and fix it. So I think that should be the strategy if you're a beginner. You don't want to go and put the whole lot, and you know, not then if you put the glue in, then you're stuck anyway, right? Literally. So I am halfway through. So it's not easy actually. So I have a few spots where there was too much glue and the glue came up, and there are a few where it didn't stick well. But that was my first attempt, and this is the rear side, which has got a deeper pocket as well. That's why it's difficult. I think the middle one is not that bad. Again, there are a few areas where there's a bit of there's overstretched fabric, but that's okay. I'm happy with 80%. You know, well, I have managed to finish almost 1, 2, 3 cans of glue, doing just up to this bit and all 6 pillars. Now I have another 2 more cans to do the rest of this and the sun visor. So hopefully 5 would do the job. We'll see. Alright, so I've completed this. There are a few stretch marks. I think the trick is to just put the glue between the bottom edges on both sides, run the length of it, and then try and do this side. That's much better. So you can play with the cloth back and forth, and this is a flat knit type, so it's got more stretchable quality. So what I've done is I've left around 1.5 centimeter on all sides. So next step is to tuck it on the other side and glue it that way. and cut holes through the handlebars and whatnot. Um, and yeah, headline is done. So this is the final product. Pretty happy with it. I think I'd give it like maybe 75% out of 100. But since I've got a new headliner and it's a DIY job, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. So especially around the corner, this is the most challenging bit because this is the deepest corner as well. I can see there's a bit of a loose material coming off, but not as bad. There were a few stretches marked on this side, but because I pulled it a bit too hard, and I think I had some extra glue there which I didn't realize. So just to note, this thing is very flimsy. So this metal trim has that bending plates around that holds it. When you move it a few times, it tends to break. I broke one already there, but hopefully there was still a few others holding it. So hopefully it'll not be a problem. But yeah, be mindful of that. Otherwise, it's come pretty good. So the front pillar, I need to get this little cap out, get the weather seals out, and then push it in. And then up there, there's a little M5, I think it is, bolt, and there's a little guide hole, and there's one more clip. So as you can see, there are multiple guide points and a whole little. Because it's a very tight spot, I need to put a plastic on the bolt. I actually changed this bolt from the hex type to a standard type because it's just easy to put it in. And then I just need to push it through there and then tighten it, and then it'll stay in, and I'll put the thing back on, the weather shield back on. Yep, so it's done now. Looks pretty good. So I'll do the same on the other side. So I've just finished installing all the pillars, compartments, and I've just put the light back on. So literally you just need to put this in and push it in. It's come pretty good for a DIY. There's a few marks here, but it's alright. The pillars were excellent. The headline is really challenging, I think, for Discovery 3. There's a lot of deep pockets like this. Regardless, I'm really happy. The sun visors are good, so I'll be putting the lights back on and conclude this project. The one thing to note is while you're installing it, at least get 2 or 3 people, because what happened was I was trying to start from the middle, whole handrail to bolt it first and then start there, and that way. While I did that, I think there was a lot of weight pushed in, so it sort of bent there. You can see a little stretch mark there. So if there's someone holding the headline at the back and someone at the front, and the person installing that actually pushing it from the middle, it'll be really handy. Other than that, the lights are straightforward to push in, and I'll put all the trims back on and conclude this project.